When a country is young and its state is young, because Uganda is a young country, the modern state is not more than 126 years. It gives me a lot of joy when institutions celebrate the lives of people who have made a difference. So I came here to witness the signing of an MOU between Professor Emmanuel Tumusiime-Mutebile Foundation and Makerere University on entrepreneurship, on research. And so I want to thank Makerere for keeping those who did great work in the economy, in research, in leadership, in governance, remembered, their works curated for the next generation. Professor Mutebile the late teaches us 3 stages of life. The first stage is what we call the maker role. The maker role is you are alone. You're building ideas. No one knows you very well, but you're so rooted in your society, you're rooted in ideas of your generation, and you put them to practice. If I give you an example, in 1972, I think about September, when the Asians were chased by Idi Amin from Uganda, when the process of chasing them away was beginning, a few people opposed that exercise. That exercise was popular with some Ugandans because they wanted some shops. They thought if you chase people, you occupy their properties, which is very, very narrow thinking of the elite. But the few people who opposed this was Professor Mutebile. He stood at the city square, which is our constitutional square today, next to Idi Amin, and he said, if you want to chase people, you don't do it by color or race. If you want to chase them away, you look for the wealthy. You can imagine, even if that's not a very well thought out idea, you don't need to chase away wealthy people. But he was very committed to keeping the unity and entrepreneurship of those who are Ugandans for all colors at a time when it was not on vogue. When you are a maker, you focus on what builds, you focus on what strengthens. The second role is what we call a marker role. Now, Professor Mutebile, when he came from exile in 1979, because he had been a teaching assistant at Makerere at Dar es Salaam, on return he became the Deputy PPS, Principal Private Secretary to President Binai Issa. He continued beyond that role and joined the Ministry of Finance. And by 1987, he was leading the reforms, neoliberal reforms of the World Bank, the IMF, structured adjustment programs. And he shaped a new way for the country's economy to recover. When you have a marker role, you deal with feedback. You deal with criticism. You deal with a new way that people don't know. But you shape a fresh way to think through a situation and provide solutions. The third level is what we call the multiplier role. Multiplier role means that the person is recruiting. Their ideas are shaping the next type of culture in institutions. Professor Mutebile, I last saw him in March of 2017, not last but in office. And he asked me if our work under Nile Competitiveness Initiative were trying to change the policy that had saved the country. I said no. His concern was what I have built should serve more people. I am happy to witness to young people that the late Mutebile fulfilled the maker role very well as a young person, achieved the marker role, having people who followed him, and then died as the longest serving governor for 21 to 22 years as a multiplier role for young people inspired. Because young people require inspiration in public service to serve with merit and distinction without stains. He gave us that. To inspire others to do better beyond their background. I thank Makerere and I thank the committee on the foundation of Professor Mutebile, Dr. Uganda, the Honorable Mama Mbabazi, the Honorable Matthew Chikeire, Mama Mutebile, the wife of the late Mutebile, and others, for keeping this memory and for now helping us take entrepreneurship from theory in Makerere and try to unite it with foundations that come out of people who did something great for their country. I pray is that we do this for all our luminaries. That's why we have mentorship at a national level every year, why we reward people who have served the country very well. I thank you. God bless you. I'm your friend, Audrey Rwabugu.